year-old. And he is wobbled by a left hook, and he's in trouble, and Cotto's dumping
On
him.
March 6, 2010, 19-year-old Canelo Alvarez stepped into the ring at the Honda Center in Anaheim, California. His opponent, Jose Miguel Cotto, the older brother of Puerto Rican boxing star Miguel Cotto. Jose was 12 years older than Canelo, a seasoned pro who started his career back in the early 2000s. He was no world champion, no HBO headliner, just a solid, experienced fighter. Most experts saw this as a showcase fight for the young Mexican prospect, just another stepping stone. But what Jose did that night caught everyone off guard.
Three brothers making their debuts lost.
The opening round looked tame at first, both fighters sizing each other up, nothing dramatic. But then, out of nowhere, Cotto landed a clean left hook to Canelo's jaw. The crowd gasped. All that talk about the future star of Mexican boxing suddenly felt shaky.
And he is wobbled by a left hook, and he's in trouble, and Cotto's dumping him.
Cotto felt the moment and went in for the kill.
Making was a mistake, but no, he gets out of trouble, still wobbling, still having trouble getting his feet under it. Miss, he dodges a right hand, comes back with a right. His solution is to fight.
He should be clinching.
He's fighting instead of clenching.
Well, when you're 19,
Why was he hurt?
It was a left hook that wobbled him. Alvarez is trying to solve everything with one big
how
right.
long he can hold that weight.
Uppercut by Alvarez lands. Almost landed.
Canelo knew he had to answer back fast. In round 2, he did just that, dropping Jose with a sharp right uppercut.
Certainly at this stage of his career. So, or Golden Boy matchmaking, which is illegal.
Yeah, this is an American star because it's really gone, Mark. And here is a kid who has been picked out to watch.
And we've already seen that Alvarez does it too.
Yeah, Alvarez is a very well-trained fighter. I'm looking at Cotto's boxing very good. Hasn't been hit with anything clean yet. But I'm looking at this kid. He's very good. He just keeps his hands too wide. That defense would jab out, then that's going to probably neutralize that. Alvarez is fighting that is really his proper weight too, and that makes a difference too. Very comfortable.
For the fight against Foreman, were they training together down there in Tampa?
Good hard left hand by Alvarez.
They train together at the same time, but he goes in a little bit before Miguel. But they very few words, but between them about trying to give each other advice when they train. They train totally separate, go past each other, never interfere with each other's training.
Good counter right hand up and under from Alvarez, and Cotto's glove.
Cotto got up quickly, but the tone had changed. The kid was here to fight.
The scorecards.
Okay.
The bottom line is that there's an opening at the top of Mexican boxing for a likely candidate to assume that position.
He should come back from that back home.
Keeping Cotto lunging, coming in off balance, and trying to catch him with counter punches as he's getting off balance coming in.
He landed 9 punches in the last minute of round 2. That was something of a comeback rally, and now they're giving and taking in round number 3.
And if Jose can keep that pressure.
What Jose Cotto is doing is
Looked like he brought up Manuel after you analyzed.
See there, same thing again. You get out of balance, and then there you go. There it is again. That's what I was going to say. Like, what you look at, he's 19, but he's had about 30-some fights. He's come from the family with 6 brothers, so he's been boxing since he was a kid.
The word Canelo, that means cinnamon. They call him cinnamon for that reddish hair.
Yeah. But looks more Irish than he
Harold, how do you have it so far?
2 rounds. Canelo Alvarez.
Well, I'm thrilled you corrected me, Harold. I was unaware, did not notice that Tony Weeks didn't rule it a knockdown in round 1. So, therefore, the 1-point difference from the score that I might have anticipated, and thank you, Harold, for your sharp eyes. Good uppercut.
That was a little 5-punch combination.
Let's get a little bit closer. He would be very effective.
No.
Alvarez is starting to put more mustard on his punches. recovered from the shock of getting hurt by Cotto in round 1. He's trying to load it up a little. Right there. Hard right hands, up and under, and the body shot. Another well-placed uppercut with the left hand. That was brilliant, just tapping it. He was landing shots.
At the same time, Cotto kept coming.
Yep.
Guess what? If Cotto would attack him now, he would be very smart, because right now Alvarez is taking a breather, is recharging, and Cotto is just following him around and letting him recharge without attacking him.
With that uppercut is well delivered and starting to gain some purchase. And look at the determination of Jose Miguel Cotto, who keeps his head right in there and stays on top of Alvarez. Terrific test for the young fighter being provided by Jose Miguel. That was crowd-pleasing action.
By the halfway point, Canelo had taken control. He picked Cotto apart round by round, giving him little room to breathe or recover.
And what's always been interesting to me is that Mosley performed much better against De La Hoya in their first fight than in the second fight, when he looked like he was lumbering around a little from too much muscle.
Hard left hook by Alvarez. I think what's emerging here, Emmanuel, what we're seeing from this 19-year-old is that he has unusual athletic coordination for boxing and great timing.
Yes,
great timing for when to deliver the shots.
And what I see is great poise.
And he's hurting Cotto with those right hands and the left hooks. Cotto not throwing back, finally releases his hands, but not before Alvarez got in about 8 or 10 clean shots.
Cotto's got a great chin, too. He's never been seriously hurt in this whole fight, and has been hit with some shots per person. As a matter of fact,
good hard right hand to throw these shots with extreme.
Well, punches. A lot of Alvarez's punches haven't been that clean as much as it seems, but when he has landed good punches, Cotto has come right back. So he's had a real test tonight.
Why would he be fighting a strong young welterweight when he himself is a junior welterweight?
But I think he's had a long time off. I'm not sure, but I think it's been better.
Well, also he told us it was the best payday of his career. That might have something to do with it.
I didn't know that. But he's fighting a very good fighter considering the time off, and to be fighting a good young prospect like Alvarez.
Jose Miguel Cotto had 3 fights last year, only 1 in 07 and none in 08. So he was largely inactive in 07, 08, and that's what gives him what he thinks is the freshness to come on and fight a guy like Alvarez.
But Alvarez is very sharp, very crisp, punching with full authority and crispness.
Alvarez landed 17 punches in the last minute of round number 5, and now, as the last minute of round 6 arrives, he heats it up again. Keeps his stamina all the way through a 3-minute round and uses the last 30 seconds to a minute of a round to make hay.
Doesn't it, man?
Yes, it does. And I like the fact that he started early, because the fact that, he doesn't have that type of an amateur background in it, but he's a very well-schooled fighter.
Alvarez 30 out of 45, 67%. Cotto 15 out of 41. This is a solid effort by Jose Miguel Cotto, but he's getting drowned by the extreme.
Definitely takes a very good punch. Otherwise he does since Roy Jones Jr. I mean, he is terrific coming off those ropes. 5-1, Alvarez.
Cotto landed a right hand, best punch in a while. Most of them are partially blocked as Alvarez is keeping his hand way up.
Well, we're going to see now in these late rounds how this youngster can stand the constant pressure over the course of a 10-round fight. If he throws a jab, can you call it a cinnamon stick?
So Emmanuel, is Miguel Cotto, younger brother,
The entire show.
want to say hello to your new fight against Yuri Foreman on June 5. On the other hand, a powder puff puncher compared to your guy, right?
Yeah, but the guys that Foreman has fought, the guys that nobody have knocked out neither. He's not a great puncher, but he's not that bad a puncher neither.
Are you talking on the...
Now whether Mosley was made. After 21 months in, quote, retirement, one thing led to another. Down, Hope said, hey, I'll take any time.
He's just won a fight, looked good, junior welterweights.
Yes, I am very impressed tonight. Yes, considering the fact that I know he's about 10 pounds overweight. Looking at he's taking all of these terrific shots from Alvarez, and is still coming back and is very relaxed. Doesn't even seem to be exhausted.
Now just look how almost clinical Alvarez is here.
For a 19-year-old fighter. But he is. There was a moment in 08, a couple of years ago, when Alvarez went 4 straight fights going the distance. He won 4 consecutive 10-round decisions in Mexico against opponents whose names we don't know, but the 4th one was Larry Mosley of Southern California, who is a veteran from 10, 15 years ago. We had seen him in some lesser fights.
And he was 17 at the time, Alvarez.
And Alvarez told us that the reason for the 4 consecutive route-going performances was that he needed to learn what he would learn from going rounds. So he says, I decided to dispense with knocking people out for a few fights so that I could learn what I was going to learn. Now, whether that's true or not, it's a remarkable comment for a fighter to make.
Fight like a seasoned fight. He's rolling his shoulders, counting, punching, pulling back, and counting.
By round 9, the fight had turned into a one-sided beating. The ref had seen enough and stepped in to stop it.
That Alvarez has in his head. He's trying to win the fight by decision at this point.
I just think he's trying to win the fight. If the knockout comes, it comes. But he's certainly not trying to sit on a lead here.
I don't think there's any reason to say that the punching power is less than what was billed. I think this is a strong performance by Cotto to stand in and take these shots.
Yeah, I don't think he was billed as a knockout puncher. He was just billed as a good boxer, puncher, aggressive, smart. And if we've ever seen a young tyro with a chance to be something, we're seeing one now. Beautiful right hand right over the top.
Tremendous quickness on that right hand. Cotto seems to be buzzed. Cotto keeping his hands up. Not really throwing back. Alvarez targeting right hand shots. Tony Weeks looking. How much punishment does Tony Weeks want to allow Jose Miguel Cotto to take?
Cotto's got to start punching back, otherwise this fight will be
He's throwing back, but without any velocity. Alvarez is teeing off, and Tony Weeks is going to stop it right there.
That night, the 19-year-old redhead who'd been seen as just another hyped Mexican fighter proved he was something more. Canelo had been tested and passed. From that night on, people didn't just talk about his potential. They started to take him seriously.
Ladies and gentlemen, the end comes at 2:59, round number 9. 2:51, round number 9. The winner by TKO victory. As referee, Tony Weeks calls a halt to the contest. Saul Canelo Alvarez.